brotherhood. This my brother from another hood. Different color skin, same color blood. Your mama may not cook like my mama does. Ha, this is brotherhood. This my brother from another hood. Different color skin, same color blood. Yo.
All right, so shout out to the everybody who's watching. It's the Corey Porter podcast. I'm here with my brothers, my hosts, Terrence and Caesar. What up, man? What's good?
What's good? What's good?
What's good?
How's everybody doing? How's everybody week?
Trying to stay dry if you're in New York.
Yeah, man. Snow was crazy. I was out there. I was out there with the snow blower, and I ended up having a shovel because my snow blower wasn't even picking up the snow. You got
a nice size snow blower?
Y'all different because y'all rich, so y'all have people come do y'all yard.
No, man, I was out there with a shovel. I didn't even have a snow blower.
I had a snow blower.
You was out there with the shovels? Yeah. Yeah. Most of the hood dudes still do shovels. It's the ones that live up in the sticks. They get snow blowers and act brand new.
They act different.
Yeah,
I was out there with my shovel.
Because your snow blower didn't work. You tried your snow blower first. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did try my snowblower. I ain't even gonna front. I was out there and I was looking crazy because my neighbor came out with his snowblower after me, and he was done while I was still out there.
Yeah,
it was looking crazy out there.
I just did enough just to get me out so I could go to work. Then I had to come back, and
I shoveled a little slither just to get the cars in and out, and it was a whole other side that was crazy. And then that started melting, and it started giving the black ice on the driveway.
Monica said buy a 4-wheeler and put a plow.
Oh, wait, somebody on the comments. Who's on the comments right now? Oh, Monica. Monica said buy a 4-wheeler.
Yeah.
Oh, Monica balling. She balling. She talking about a 4-wheeler. She out there balling. That's Terrence. That's Terrence.
4-wheeler money. I don't got 4-wheeler money, man.
Either do. I'll do everything.
I'll do a Cybertruck.
See, they got people cutting his grass.
He said a
snow and all that.
I'll do a Cybertruck. I'll put a plow on a Cybertruck.
But listen, yo, we're gonna get in right now because we're gonna get into this Katt Williams situation. I know everybody's talking about and hearing about the whole Katt Williams situation with him, getting at all of the comedians out there. But I got an exclusive video of Katt Williams, of Steve Harvey responding to Katt Williams. Exclusive.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play it right now.
The reason why it took so long, see, I had to pray to God to give me the strength not to get mad. God talked to me every day, every damn day. I've been in this business a long time, boy. See, you done messed up with the wrong one. See, you just sitting there talking that bullshit to Shannon Shaw, talking about I couldn't be a movie star. Yeah. I guess you didn't see You Got Served. Yeah, that there was acting, huh? Then you gonna say I took Mark Curry's jokes and stole his show. Boy, you got the nerve to call me Mr. Potato Head. Calling my ass Mr. Potato Head. Yeah. Woo! That was a good one. I ain't gonna lie. That was good, but I digress. So what? I wore a wig, huh? People asking.
Yo, son, shout out to Steve Harvey, but now shout out to my man Godfrey. Yo, Godfrey's hilarious.
That was good.
I can't even lie. You had me gassed. I really thought you had an exclusive.
Godfrey's a funny dude, man. But yo, listen, I know a lot of people with this Katt Williams situation. Everybody's real fascinated about the insults, and not even call them insults. He was telling his truth, and people was just getting, he was taking shots, you know what I'm saying? And we don't know everything that goes on behind the scenes. We think we like certain comedians. We think, oh, this comedian's cool, but you don't even really know that comedian personally, maybe how he do. So, he was speaking his truth, so he's taking the shots. But I don't even really I don't want us to really get into the gossipy, dissing part of what he was saying, because he actually said a few very important things, very serious things. And I think we should talk a little bit about that. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things he said. So I do want to play the video where he was talking about Kevin Hart. And I'll just play the video and then we talk about it after.
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to L.A. and in his first year in L.A. he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
Now that's some big allegations, man. I don't know. I'm not really big on conspiracy theories and all of that, but I do believe that it's a lot that we don't know in the industry, not even just Hollywood, but the music industry too, where they determine who's gonna be successful and who's not. Or who's going to get the exposure and who's not. So how do y'all feel about, being him calling Kevin Hart an industry plant?
So that this is something that he's been saying from the beginning about Kevin Hart. I don't know what his beef and his quarrel has been with him throughout the years. But Kevin Hart did an interview a long time ago. I think it was on the Breakfast Club or one of the New York City radio shows, but he was going there. He was explaining himself on there, but Catt been going at him for a minute. I don't know if it's just like the Magic versus Bird or the Jordan versus LeBron debate, like the two goats of our era going at it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know if it was that or he really believes that Kevin Hart is a plant, an industry plant.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
What does the industry plant mean to you though? Like what does
it was
that
set
mean?
that you're set up, you're put there. Like you got obviously you got to have some kind of talent. You ain't just gonna be a plant there. But you're backed and you're backed by big media. You backed by it's like I guess it's the difference between you being independent, like independent rapper, and then having somebody like Def Jam behind you pushing you out there and then throwing it in your face like yo, you gonna like this music, you gonna like this song, even though it might be trash. But not saying Kevin Hart is trash because Kevin Hart is hilarious. So I don't actually believe that he's a plant. But I think that Katt Williams is, because he and Katt Williams obviously got instant fame. Katt Williams, I didn't even know he was Cat in the Hat. You know what I'm saying? And I remember Cat in the Hat from Comic View, but I didn't remember that was him. He's been out for a long time. And to have somebody like Kevin Hart just come out and just blow up and become the guy, the Eddie Murphy of our generation. I think that kind of, I don't know, that brings hate in itself.
So I'm a little new to this. So I had to even look up what an industry plant was because I had no idea what it was. So this will help me understand it a little bit more. According to Google, it's a derogatory term used to describe a musician, or in this case, a comedian who appears to gain popularity through their connections to the music industry or comedian industry, but presents themselves as independent and self-made. I don't know if that's Kevin Hart's story. I don't. The first time I saw Kevin Hart was Soul Plane, so I don't know if that's points towards what Katt Williams is saying, or it's. But like Terrence was saying, like Katt Williams started from the bottom, and he has receipts on him starting from the bottom. You know what I mean? So do we know anything that Kevin Hart's been in? And I'm a huge Kevin Hart fan, so if this is true, it'll hurt. But do we have any proof of Kevin Hart before then? Like Katt Williams was saying, and he sold out performances, and he sold out concerts and anything. You know what I mean? Or even like any low budget, small parts in movies. So I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if it's true or not.
I watched the documentary with him and Chris Rock, and he kind of talked about it a little bit. And I think sometimes people get, I don't want to call it jealous, but sometimes people get I guess jealous when they see people have success faster than they did. And they feel like there's a process that you're supposed to have to go through to get to certain levels. And sometimes that don't apply to everybody. Some people just hit the ground like 50 Cent. Like Jay-Z had dropped Reasonable Doubt. Then he dropped Life In My Lifetime, then Hard Knock Life. Like, he had to build. 50 Cent came out the gate and sold like 11 million on his first official album. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that was his first official album, though, Corey. But I get what you're saying.
I know he had Power of a Dollar.
Power of a Dollar.
Yeah, that was like he has some good mixtapes though.
Yeah, but his first official commercial album was Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah, but look who he had behind him. He had Eminem. He had Dr. Dre. Like, these are, prominent figures in the music industry. So but he sold probably as many records as some artists sell in a whole entire career. He did it on one album. Right. So some people think he didn't take the steps he should have took. He kind of cheated or whatever like that. I don't know. How can someone say that though? He had like Jimmy Iovine, he had Eminem, he had Dre, and he had skills. So you put that together, like how could you fail? And that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Kevin Hart though, I don't know. We don't know these people. We don't know these people, personally. But Kevin Hart looked like he worked hard.
I agree.
Kevin Hart looks like he really puts in work. He looks like he works hard. He's not like a person that's just sitting around just getting a whole bunch of success. Kevin Hart be hitting the road too, doing, 100 city tours worldwide, different countries. Like, we see him out there too. He got mass specials too. So I don't know if I don't agree with Katt Williams with Kevin Hart being a plant.
We got a couple of comments.
What do you say?
We got a couple of comments too. Margaret said the wife used to help write his jokes. He was on the scene, just not as known or as much as others we've witnessed.
Yeah.
And then we got a lot of people chiming in.
Yeah, he said Derek said Paper Soldiers. He was in Paper Soldiers. Yeah.
He wasn't Paper Soldiers.
That's true.
Paper Soldiers was after I think, was it after Soul Plane?
I'll check for you.
I don't know. I think that was his first movie. I think Paper Soldiers was his first time in the big film, even though it was an independent film, like Rockefeller did it.
Yeah. You still have to put in the work and plant or not. You have to have a fan base. That is true. You know what I'm saying? You could put a plant there, but you could put somebody there you want to be there. But if ain't nobody, it's really the people. If the people feel like we don't like this person, then then they'll move to a different person. They move to a different plant. But I don't know. I wouldn't say Kevin Hart's a plant. It's difficult for me to say that. I think when you see somebody work and you watched him come up, I wouldn't say that he's a plant. I just think he worked hard. But I think there's a lot. I do think Kevin Hart is a gatekeeper though. I don't know if that's a plan or not. Yes, I do think that Kevin Hart has the control now to put whoever he wants in movies. I think he has the control where he could take a comedian and put him into a movie right now. Like he does.
Yeah, but that comes with the influence though, right? Like the more power and influence you gain, I mean that kind of comes with it automatically, right?
Yeah, but when you pick and choose who you're gonna do it with based on who you like, then it gets funny because now you're messing with people's money. Because maybe Mike Epps or Katt Williams, they have the fan base and they have the notoriety to be in this movie, but you're going to get a different comedian because that's your man or that's your homegirl, just because Yaku is more of like a relationship thing rather than the person that deserves the role don't get it.
All right, so would you say the same thing about Adam Sandler? Because most of Adam Sandler movies is with his clique. His friends, his close friends, and people he worked well with.
That's true, but he also, they have a little circle that they kind of work with too. But think about it, everybody he puts in his movies, we kind of, they have a little name for themselves too. They got Chris Rock, you got my man who played the King of Queens,
except for Rob Schneider.
Yeah, but that was one of his bigger. That was one of his bigger ones. Like Rob Schneider is the dude that usually be with him a lot in his movies.
Rob Schneider's in every movie.
So he got a circle of people that he roll with. I think that'll be more like Kevin Hart putting what's the name of his the Red Cup boys?
Yeah.
It'd be more like him putting them in his movies. But you know, Kevin Hart got his stuff is more like he'll do movies. It'd be like The Rock, or it'll be like people who are established. So how can you? I don't think that you can put that title on him, Corey, just because of who he's
being
with.
a gatekeeper.
A gatekeeper, yeah.
Think about it though. The Rock is gonna be in a movie whether Kevin put him in a movie or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of these comedians ain't gonna get in the movie unless Kevin put him in there.
Name some.
But yeah, what's some?
Oh, you can yeah. He put Tiffany Haddish in. He did put it in the movie. But
okay.
What about HaHa Davis? What about Country Wayne? What about Jess Hilarious?
But what movies do you feel like the
ones that's coming up? What do you say?
What movies do you feel like he's blocking people from getting in?
I don't look at a movie that he's blocking them from. I just think that he has the power to put these other younger comedians on, and whether he wants to do it or not, he has the power to do that. And that gets kind of tricky sometimes because now you only you putting on your own peoples. Because y'all mentioned Adam Sandler, right. But what other movies was those other people in that Adam Sandler didn't do?
Rob Schneider's in a couple. I'm
talking about like the one who be playing like the homeless guy in his movies.
Rob Schneider.
Yeah, that's Rob Schneider.
Yeah,
he did the one with Shallow Hal, right?
That was Shallow Hal. No. Yeah. He was in Hot Chicks. That was his solo movie. Rob Schneider's in a few movies by himself.
Yeah, but they also directed by those are also directed by Adam Sandler. So
right,
yeah, that's still his movie.
He takes care of his people. But I don't think it's like
he was in Deuce Bigelow too. But
Deuce Bigelow,
Deuce Bigelow, the Animal
had one of Adam Sandler's other man in there.
Shout out to Jada, Anastasia. You know, Quita, we see you.
Yeah. He had Oh yeah, we got some comments coming in. What do you say?
Yeah.
Hot Chick, Deuce Bigelow.
Yeah.
Besides with being a plant, bro, he can change a lot of lives. Those. Oh yeah, well, I guess a gatekeeper and I don't know. I think a gatekeeper is you earn that spot and then you control who comes in and out. I think a plant is when they place you there to do that. I think he earned that spot, but I do think he determines. Like if Mike Epps gonna get a new movie, I don't know. I'll determine if I let Mike Epps sit on this movie or not.
I don't know.
I don't know if he has that kind of control, man.
Yeah, because he don't have his own production. I mean, he has his own production.
He
company,
does,
but like all the big movies you see,
all the movies he's done wasn't under Heartbeat Productions. They're not all Heartbeat Productions.
Right. So
you can't use that as a way to saying that he's a gatekeeper because the movies that he's putting out ain't the blockbuster movies that he's in.
Right.
And most of his blockbuster movies got big names in it as well. They already got The Rock. They got
Jack Black.
Marky Mark. What's Marky Mark's real name? Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He'll get people like that.
I think it plays more into I guess what we don't know. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of behind the scenes stuff too that we can't speak on a lot of behind the scenes. I guess we looking from the outside in. It could look like Kevin Hart has a lot of power, and that's what Katt Williams is saying. But Katt Williams is also in the industry, so maybe he knows things that we don't. You know what I'm saying? But let's move on to another video, though. This right here, I'm gonna play this video right here, and I want y'all to tell me what y'all think about this video after I play it. You know what I'm saying? Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna play this video, and y'all tell me what y'all think about this.
I'm probably reading 3,000 books a year. From the time that I'm 8 years old to the time that I'm 12. No fiction books at all. I'm only reading nonfiction.
Listen, I'm gonna put the title up there. Is Cat capping? Because I'm gonna let y'all say what y'all think, and then I'm gonna go after that. Go ahead, Caesar. Take what you think. He said he read 3,000 books a year.
No. Did he say a year or
a year? He said a year from when he was 5 to 8, I think, or so, or 8 to something. Anyway, he said 3,000 a year though.
I thought he meant he read a total of 3,000. He's saying 3,000 a year. I think he's capping because I mean, let's see auto booking it. I mean, that's a lot.
There wasn't no auto books when he was 8.
I mean, that's a because like even Bill Gates, he reads about 50 books a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't see how Katt Williams, as busy as he is, reading 3,000 books a year.
He talking about now. He talking about
like when he was a kid,
7 or 8.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible then. Maybe. I don't know.
No, it's not. Caesar, there's only 365 days in a year.
Yo, listen,
you mean to tell me he reading 30 books a day?
No. Hey, that's not that much. It's not that much. I did the math. Is 8.2 books a day. And what made it crazy
30?
is it made it crazy.
Exactly.
He said that they were nonfiction, which means they was like biographies and document all that.
Yeah, but you could
ain't no way in the world you reading 8 books a day.
You could read a book. You could read a documentary or a biography in like 8 hours if you like sitting down and crushing through it.
No, not 8 hours, Caesar. He reads.
No, I know. I'm saying, but you could read a book in 8 hours. So,
but it's only 24 hours out the day.
I mean, he
can't read 8 of them.
I don't. Maybe.
Yo, I'm calling.
I think he's
Colin Cap. He's Colin Kaepernick over there. That's what he doing. He's big Cap.
Todd. Yo, let me tell you something. When he said that, I was like, "Come on, man! Like, ain't no way in the world you reading it." Oh, we got a couple caps in here. Ain't no way in
the caps is coming out. I'm about to go get a bunch of hats and just throw them around.
Ain't no way in the world you reading 3,000 books a day. Like, what was you doing? You wasn't going.
Can we give a shout out to Shay? He kept a straight face though too when he told him.
Did. Let me tell you something. I don't think Shannon Sharp. I don't think Shannon Sharp.
I don't think you heard him.
I don't think he paid attention enough to what he actually said when he said it. I think he was just in the interview because 3,000 books, or maybe he didn't want to correct them and turn the interview into a whole other direction. But ain't no way in the world you not reading no 3,000 books. You're not reading no 3,000 books a day. You're not. It's just that was some crazy cap. I wanted to see what y'all thought about him saying that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, yo, he just said that and just kept it moving. Like, you know what I mean? Like that wasn't, All right, so listen,
hold on. I did just do a quick Google. It said Katt Williams has said that he used to read 3,000 books a year, which is about 8.2 books a day, which you said, Corey. According to this article, the average person reads 33 books per year, while speed reading can read 55 books per year.
That's it.
The average book length is 90,000 words. So yeah, not happening.
Yeah.
The max is 55 on a speed reader, and my man went 3,000.
So I'm thinking he might have messed up, and he was saying that he read 3,000 books in that time frame. There's no way he read it in a year.
Do we need to hold on? Now we're gonna play the video one more time. We're gonna play it one more time because we're gonna hear what he said exactly, and we're gonna see if he even had room to mess up. Let's see.
I'm probably reading 3,000 books a year from the time that I'm 8 years old to the time that I'm 12.
No.
Yeah. He said it that way, but I really think that he meant from the time I was 8 to 12, I read 3,000 books. Like I think that's what he meant, because he also made a mistake about the dates for the Kings of Comedy. If you listen to the
I did.
The drink, he messed that up too, and they came back and corrected him. They should have did that with that. They should have been like, yo, you said you read 3,000 books a year. If he'd like, yeah, I'm like, yo, Katt, you Katt Williams right now. You Katt Williams, because you really
I was like, yo, first of all, when I first heard him say it, my mind just automatically started thinking, so I didn't even hear the extra part. So I'm like, he read 3,000 books a year. Okay, so maybe he read, some like Jada said, he read some magazines, or maybe a little Cat in the Hat short, Dr. Seuss joints, something like that. When he said he read nonfiction books, oh no, you reading the biography of Malcolm X? Nah, you're not reading no 3,000 books, and that's not happening. It's not happening at all.
Nah, he was bugging.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? All right, we're gonna move on to this next video real quick. Now, I like this video because I did some research and I found some kind of evidence, but we're gonna play it and see what everybody think. This is the point of the part of Katt Williams that I feel don't get enough attention that a lot of people in the industry actually know about him. So we're gonna watch the video here.
But I did read that comedians on your show say that women sometimes would bring them money and not say where it came from.
Say that again?
Comedians would say women would bring them money and not say where it came from.
Right. So I'm not a feminist like a feminist would be, but I do believe that that in my camp, like if I had 35 people in my camp, right? I believe that other than 4 jobs, I believe that a woman is better at any of them jobs than any man could be.
Okay.
So 10 of these jobs, no man can work because I'd rather a female be there. If I gotta smell anybody's breath, I want it to be hers. I don't want none of you crusty. So what I'm saying is, if in a staffing issue, I'm gonna have 75% women just because I prefer them. Right. I don't prefer to hear 2 guys talking in the corner. I prefer to hear 2 ladies talking in the corner. I don't care what they're talking about. I just prefer that. So a lot of times I will utilize ladies to convey a message. If a comedian is doing a great job somewhere in the country, he just did a masterful set and nobody's gonna pay him. They just clapping. And I know he's broke as shit back there. Wouldn't it be nice if somebody just showed up and gave him a little blessing?
Now, before we even discuss that video, I'm going to play this video and then we can discuss it.
Everybody walked away and stuff. I looked in my hand and it was $1,000. And then I looked out in the audience trying to find the girl and I'm like, man, I can't remember her face and I couldn't see her. And I was just like, who gave me $1,000? But anyway, I just was like, wow. And later on, about a month later, somebody told me that happened to them and they said Katt Williams was in the audience. And I put 2 and 2 together and was like, wow, he did that to me then. He never tell you. He never.
That's crazy. And that's Dion Cole. Dion Cole is a big deal. Like, he's a big deal comedian. And he is one of the people that Katt Williams actually just slid money. And I'm a big advocate. I'm big on people doing stuff quietly, secret, under the radar, never announcing that you did it or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm really, really big on that. And I think that's out of that whole interview, he said a lot of funny things, a lot of entertaining things that we all thought was funny. But one of those kind of stories there, it was another story where he paid off some lady's Hollywood Walk of Fame star too. I forgot her name, but he paid the $75,000 for her to get her Hollywood Walk of Fame star. So I think some of those things, everybody want to highlight the things he said about Kevin Hart or Cedric the Entertainer or Michael Blackston with the dashiki and all that. Stories like that, I think, should also have light too, because that's a bit. First of all, he was doing stuff and he wasn't looking for recognition at all. He was just handing people money, having other people hand people money, and then sliding off because he felt like they deserve that. You know what I'm saying? How y'all feel about that video?
I liked it. I agree with you. I think stuff like that should be going more viral than some of the other stuff, because that's a positive message. You know what I mean? I think that was dope. I didn't know that. That was definitely new to me too, but I think that was dope for Katt Williams to take care of his people coming up.
Yeah. I agree. I think that you're starting to see a lot more people come out now and say, yo, Katt Williams did that to me. Because it wasn't just Dion Cole that I forgot who else I was on YouTube listening to, and they were saying that, yo, Katt did that to me as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? He gave me a dap. Like, it wasn't a woman that brought him money. Like, he gave him, like, he thought he was gonna get like $50 for the show, something like that. Somebody told him that he's gonna get that. He was like, yo, you killed that set. Gave him a dap. And then when he went back to, like, he was going to a restaurant with his girl. I forget who it was, man. He was going to the restaurant with his girl, and he went to go pay. And he realized that Katt gave him like $3,500 or something like that. Like, gave him like, and he was like, yo, I wasn't even expecting it. Like, it was like, that's one of those things that's what Katt always do. But it's good. It's a breath of fresh air to see people in that limelight and that people are actually coming out and backing him up and saying it, because he got a bad stigma over him about being crazy. People saying he's on drugs, all this stuff. But to see a man's true heart and to see how he blesses people and don't want no recognition for it, that's a true sign of a true humility and true blessing.
Yeah, and people, and especially in this day and time when we live in a society where everything is for the gram and everything is for to be seen. You got people out there giving the homeless people with a camera up. Yo, look at me giving to this guy. You don't even have the compassion to think that maybe that homeless guy is embarrassed in his situation and he don't want to be seen. But you trying to get likes on Instagram or on Facebook or whatever, and you posting people in their vulnerable state just for likes and just to go viral. I think that's corny to me. Like I always think that's corny to me. I think you always could tell what who a person is what they do when nobody's looking. I learned that from a kid just growing up. That's one of the things that the old people used to say. You always can tell who a person really is when they think nobody's watching. You know what I'm saying?
That's their character.
Shout out to Katt for that, man, because I definitely wanted to highlight that. All of the other stuff, you know what I'm saying, is cool. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to highlight the fact that nobody's probably going to talk about that part. You know what I'm saying? Where the things that he do behind the scenes and the generosity that he has for people. They only want to talk about, oh, Katt crazy or Katt this and Katt that. But that was a good portion of the story.
Yeah, I did another quick search. Boosie also actually said that Katt gave him $15,000 as a gift after a prison release too. So that came out.
And Nicola said the lady name was Melba Moore. He's the one he paid for her child her Hollywood Walk of Fame star for 7 because she didn't have the money to pay for it. So he did it because he didn't want her not to get it. I didn't even know you had to pay for that. That's crazy.
I didn't know that either. I thought that was just like awarded to you.
Yeah, I didn't know you had to pay for it. All right, so we're gonna play this last Katt Williams video here, you know what I'm saying? And we're gonna talk about this.
Really start making decisions and living your life like this all you got. Just this one day. But you could be a winner. You could be a winner on this day. It's just work ethic. And not the work ethic they talk about. They tell you work ethic where they do all these movies. I'm the hardest working man. Well, no, everybody goes to work every day.
Right.
Yeah. Don't say, I go to work all the time. Everybody who works goes to work every day. Shut up. Shut up. You get, what? You think I respect you more than my gardener? I don't. He work every day. Rain or shine.
I agree with him. Anybody talking about, putting in work, you know what I'm saying? And we have a lot of people in this day and time that talk about doing stuff and say they want to do stuff, but it's those people that actually do things that you could see like, yo, if he say he gonna do it, it's almost like your reputation is, your word is your reputation. If he say he gonna do something or she says she gonna do something, they gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? You could always tell when somebody online saying like, oh yeah, I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that. And this isn't taking no shots at anybody. I'm just saying in general. You see somebody say, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, but you know in your mind it's never gonna happen. Because certain people, with their actions and their history will let you know if they're a type of person that's motivated or they're not. So what y'all feel about that video?
No, I agree. I definitely agree. You definitely have to be self-motivated, and just going to work it shouldn't count, right? Because everyone that goes to work, but it's what are you doing outside of work? Whether it's personal growth, whether it's growing your own business, taking care of others, running organizations, whatever the case may be. Like those are people that put in that real work in, that real grind to make an impact, not just to collect a check or whatever the case may be. I agree.
Yeah, I think that I agree and disagree at the same time. I feel like when people are saying that I think he's taking a shot at Kevin Hart a little bit because they call him the hardest working man in showbiz. I think what they mean by that though is that not that he's going to work and he's doing movies and stuff like that, like normal actors would do or normal comedians would do. I think what they mean is his actual ethic, like honing in on your craft, how far you digging into making yourself better at what you're doing. I don't think everybody does that. Some people just go to work for a paycheck and you say, yeah, your gardener might go, but he might not be a good gardener. He ain't gonna be the same. The gardener that do my crib ain't as good as the gardener that's doing, Snoop's crib. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they ain't on the same level. So how are you honing in on your craft? How are you digging deeper? How are you making yourself better at what you're doing? Whether you're tapping into a character, whether you're tapping into making your comedy more eclectic to different audiences. Like there's a big difference between you just going to work and then you working and you being a worker. You know what I'm saying? We always had that.
I'm gonna give you some pushback on that though a little bit because
go ahead.
Kevin Hart, I'm a Kevin Hart fan. You said going to work and digging into your craft and all that kind of stuff. I don't really see Kevin Hart other than one movie that I seen him play was The Upside, where he showed some range. The rest of the movies is just Kevin Hart playing Kevin Hart though.
What about Fatherhood?
He was still kind of Kevin Hart there. Yeah. Like I get what you're saying, but
it was good.
I didn't feel. I'm not saying I'm not defending Kevin Hart's work ethic and that. Like I'm saying in general, when somebody's talking about they're the hardest working person in showbiz, it's usually them digging into their craft and becoming better at what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it. I just think that Kevin Hart worked hard, bro. Like you if you watch any of your documentaries and you hear stories about him, you like him keeping up with his fitness, him in all these commercials, him doing all these type joints. Like he do a lot. I can't say that he don't. I ain't seen Katt Williams doing all that stuff. So
now but I'm glad you said that just now because it is the fact that Katt Williams is
that don't mean it's not happening.
No, I'm not even gonna say that. Or does Kevin Hart have more opportunities?
Well, I think that Katt had the opportunities, and allegedly from I think I watched a Kevin Hart interview where he said, "Yo, you turned down a lot of these jobs. Like they offered you this, you said no." He came in there, he said he turned down the Kings of Comedy. I mean, he did it for a reason. Like he wanted from the whole Bernie Mac situation, but like he got opportunities and he just decided not to do whatever he was doing. But also Kevin Hart is more quote unquote user friendly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's a
lot more clean.
Yeah, he's not like a Dave Chappelle who would say anything.
Right.
But Dave Chappelle's not owned by nobody either. Dave Chappelle don't care nothing about Hollywood. So
neither does Katt. And that's what makes them who they are. Whereas Kevin Hart, as soon as he had the scandal, because that joke he made about his son being gay and he knocking him over or whatever, that was a funny joke. Yeah. But as soon as they start canceling, I apologize. You know, I didn't mean it. Katt Williams or Dave Chappelle wouldn't apologize for that. Like, yo, I said what I said. Like, I wasn't trying to offend anybody. It was a joke. If you feel offended, it was a joke. Like, that's kind of how I feel like they are.
Guys, Cedar, what you think?
No. I agree with what y'all saying. I don't necessarily know. I believe Kevin Hart works hard. You know what I mean? If you're looking from at least from the outer appearance of everything, right? Like he's like Terrence was saying, he's in shows, he's in commercials. You know, I don't necessarily think he hones his craft to play different roles or to broaden his his acting skills, but maybe he doesn't want to. I don't know. But I think I respect Kevin Hart's work ethic. Like you see him working out, you see him doing all these different things. I don't know if that goes into say like he's a plan or all the other stuff that we was talking about previously, but I think you got to respect his work ethic.
Yeah, I respect it. I don't think he's a I don't think he's a plan. I do think that he controls who comes in and out of the industry, but far as the comedian, but
you giving him Jay-Z and Beyonce status for the movie business, huh?
Yeah, I have to
no in that area of comedians. If you look at history, is always that one. Like I could tell you, if you go all the way back to the 80s, it was Eddie Murphy, right? Then you come into the 90s, it was Martin. When you get it to the end of the 90s, it was my man Chris Tucker, right? Chris Tucker had it for a while. And then you get into the 2000s, it was kind of like still a little Chris Tucker, but Martin a little bit too still.
So, but when you say this, are you talking like comedy stand-up or are you talking like movies?
No, I'm talking about movies, like movie stars.
I don't know if Chris Tucker was ever a gatekeeper.
I'm not saying he's the gatekeeper. I'm saying that he was the one that they were going to for all of the movies. Like he'd have the Rush Hours, he'd have the Money Talks, he was like this with it. And then Martin got it a little bit when he had like the Bad Boys and all that kind of stuff. And
I mean, yeah, he was the black comedian to go. So that's what you're talking about.
That's like three of them, though. It's never like three of them.
Yeah, but he was the black. Yo, we're gonna get a black comedian. Let's go get Martin. Right. We're gonna get a black comedian. Let's go get Chris Tucker. They were those people, but that doesn't make them gatekeepers, though, bro. That doesn't make them the ones that were like, yo,
there's someone else
I want them in my next movie. Yo, I want this. If I'm gonna do this movie, I want them. And they be like, okay, cool. Like that. I don't think none of them had that power.
Martin did that for Will Smith though, for Bad Boys.
Martin
if it wasn't for Martin, Will Smith wouldn't have been in the first Bad Boy.
Plus, Katt Williams even told a story about Martin. Said, "Yo, my next movie, you got to be in it," and that's what he didn't want to do. Big Mama's House.
Big Mama's House too. But that was.
You can handpick these. You can handpick these comedians. If
but I don't think Chris Tucker ever had that clout. But I don't think
Chris Tucker was getting $20 million a movie for them Rush.
Yeah, but he wasn't pulling people in saying, yo, I'm doing this movie. Only Jackie Chan is gonna be in this movie. It was like, nah, this is Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan was probably the one pulling like, yo.
Or maybe he wasn't trying to pull the people. He was just trying to be him, do him.
But when you say gatekeeper, are you saying like Kevin Hart is blocking people from?
Nah, that's not what I mean. I mean, I guess you could look at it two ways. You could look at it as he has the power to take you off of Instagram and put you on a big screen, or he got the power not to.
I don't think Kevin Hart got that kind of power.
He does.
I think he has the power to put him in his own movies. He can do that.
Right, his own production.
It's still a big screen though. Yeah, and most of the movies he do is his movies.
No, the Hart. Well, yeah, I don't know the big blockbuster ones that's under his production.
No, not his big movies. His big movies.
That's what I'm saying. His big movies aren't under his production.
What's the biggest movie? What's the biggest movie that he did? So, the last biggest movie he did, the one with The Rock. That was both of their production companies together.
I think that was a big like.
The last one I saw them two together was the last Fast. I don't think it was. But he had a small role, and then you had.
What you mean? You mean The Rock?
No, The Rock and Kevin Hart in the last Fast and
Kevin
Furious.
Hart was in the Fast and Furious too?
Yeah, he had a small role in the spin-off one.
Then you proving my point, because you know he only in there because of The Rock.
You're right, but you're saying Kevin Hart though.
You saying Kevin Hart's the one?
Though, but that's what it is though. Because The Rock could be a gatekeeper for something else too.
I think The Rock is. I think The Rock has the power to say, "I'm
gonna put Kevin Hart."
I think The Rock. But I don't think so. So I guess when I'm looking at that, I don't think Kevin Hart is an A-list like movie guy. Like
what you mean? He's an A-list comedian.
He's an A-list comedian, but that doesn't transpire you to being an A-list in the movie business. Like
what you mean?
That doesn't always transpire.
All you gotta be is funny. If you funny, you selling those blockbuster movies, you consider A-list, whether you Denzel or not.
Are you considering Katt Williams an A-lister?
Katt Williams would be an A-list if he had the opportunities. He would.
So he's an A-list comedian. Dave Chappelle is an A-list comedian, but you're not seeing any of these dudes be in have major roles in movies. Katt Williams, he said he had 60 roles in movies, but he never had his own movie. Like I think his biggest role might have been Money Mike.
But exactly, but you know why? Because he feels same way with Dave Chappelle feel that they blackball from Hollywood.
All right, Corey,
because they won't comply to some of the things that we don't really know about, that they talk about indirectly. They won't comply to it.
So Me Time, the one with Kevin Hart and Mark Wahlberg, that was a Heartbeat Productions.
Yeah, and that was Kevin Hart movies. So he determines who he want to work with and who he don't. And sometimes when the industry is only picking one black comedian at a time, you don't the other comedians that has an opportunity, like they're in their limelight right now, they waiting to get on, but Kevin Hart ain't put them on. And I'm not blaming Kevin Hart, because you know maybe he don't rock with some of them like that. But but when you got the power to say I want him in a movie and I don't want him, or I'm not doing this movie, that's a gatekeeper.
Well, I haven't heard any stories about Kevin Hart saying, "Yo, I don't want this person," or "I want this person." Like it's just has been, you know what I'm saying? Normally, like you said, you'll get your when you're A-list, like if you're saying he's an A-list guy, you're gonna ask A-list people to be in your movies to make them blockbuster movies. You know, he didn't put DC Young Fly in his movie and then they became something that was blown up and it became the blockbuster movie. Nah, he took Mark Wahlberg. He'll take The Rock. He'll take these other people and act, like, yo, you my man. Like, come do this movie with me. You an A-lister, I'm an A-lister. Let's make this money together. Let's make the biggest movie of the year. You're not gonna ask Country Wayne to go and do that, even though they're hilarious. These are all hilarious comedians, but you're gonna ask whoever you feel is that A-lister to be in that blockbuster movie with you. You know
do you always need A-list? Because Friday proved you didn't. Because a lot of these comedians we seen in the first Friday, we never seen them in a movie before. And
also was an independent film.
Exactly, but it proved to you that it could be an independent film with not A-list actors in it, and it could still be good.
But it wasn't that wasn't a blockbuster movie. Like, that wasn't a movie theater movie that was funny. That became hood funny. That was a hood classic where it became big in our community. And then it spread out and be like, yo, Friday is fire. And then it became like the Friday after next and the next Fridays. Those were the ones that became, I don't even know if they were blockbusters, but they were the ones that became more mainstream. So I don't know if you can even use that, because to me that was almost in the sense of like Paper Soldiers and those type of movies. It just did very well.
Nah, I think Friday was bigger than those though.
Yo, the budget for that was low, bro.
It was like $5 million, I think.
And the budget was low. And Paper Soldiers was low
out of his pocket.
So Corey,
yeah, like to me, I feel like that's on a level like Boys in the Hood and all those type joints. Like those are bigger movies, and they had probably had a little bigger budget. But that's kind of how it got transpired. It was like, yo, it started off as it was just really for our community, and then it blew up to became mainstream. But it didn't start off that way. Friday didn't start off that way. Friday, you remember we was watching bootleg movies at the time. People was bootlegging Friday, and then like, yo, Fridays is mad good. And then that's when it got its notoriety.
Yeah. See what you was gonna say?
No, I was gonna say. So would you rather see Kevin Hart kind of do like what Ice Cube was doing, where he was making the Fridays and all those other movies?
I would love. Let me tell you. I'm glad you asked me that. Let me tell you what I would love to see. I would love to see all of these comedians that we love do Harlem Nights over. Because
Eddie Murphy Harlem Nights.
Man. Listen, leave it alone.
That's a classic, boy.
Leave it alone, man.
Everybody
Don't do
watching right now, whether you on Facebook, Twitter, and all that. I need y'all to chime in on this because
now you gotta pose this question. Remake Harlem Nights or not? Leave it alone.
Yeah, that's Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy.
I mean, listen. They touching all these other stuff, right? They touching all these other movies, right?
Don't touch that classic.
Listen, back in Harlem Nights, you had Richard Pryor, you had Red Fox, you had Eddie Murphy. Who else was in there? You had homeboy from Baby's Kids.
Oh yeah, he was in there.
Oh man, I wish I knew it because he's a legend. I wish I would have knew his name. But they had so many legendary dudes in there. Even a lady that he shot her foot. What's her name? Y'all gotta help me out, man. People who know her name.
I got you.
I don't know their names. But yeah, they had the biggest comedians of that era.
You know, now imagine, right?
Robin Harris is who you talking about.
Robin Harris, that's
from
Baby's Kids.
Now imagine that same theme, right? If you put Katt Williams, Kevin Hart, Steve Harvey, who else?
That was Della Reese. That was homegirl.
Yeah,
Dave Chappelle, all of them in that 1920s suits, all that kind of stuff. In today's era, let me tell you something. That would be the biggest comedic movie right now. Since I don't know since when, but if they did,
I think that's a lot of pressure, man.
Forget the money. Let's just go and do this movie. And you got to have Eddie in there. Eddie got to do it.
See, the thing is, so I understand what you're saying, Corey, and I agree. Like, I think it could be a great movie. Just don't name it Harlem Nights. It got to be a different movie. But the thing about that era and those era of comedians, I don't feel like they had ego as much as these new comedians have now. Whereas you can get Eddie Murphy could get Richard Pryor because that was like his mentor. He could get Red Fox because Red Fox is a little past his prime at that moment. He can get the dude from Bebe's Kids, Robin Harris.
Yeah.
You can get these dudes to be in these movies because they ain't at the pinnacle, and they're not the competitors. They're not the competitors for that person. So to have somebody like Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, Katt Williams, all in the movie, they're gonna be like, yo, Katt Williams tell you, yo, when I go in a movie, I try to steal the show. That is my objective. I go in there, I want to make sure that you remember me in that movie. And by all means, it's been working out for him because he'll get small roles that like a Money Mike role, and then he'll make it. And that was the movie. Everybody remembers Money Mike from Friday After Next.
Yeah, like so, I'm reading Instagram right now. Gerald Dice 845 said, "Leave it alone. They're gonna have mad people up there based on social media views and not really funny comedians."
Right, I agree with that.
That's fair.
That's true. They might have like, and I like honestly the internet comedians are hilarious. I know that's a new form of a comedian, but some of the funniest people is on Instagram. Like Instagram has some of the most funniest people on there. But yeah, shout out to Dice 845 on Instagram right now. But yeah, so y'all don't want to see that movie.
Nah, leave it where it's
I think you're gonna have to. You gotta make it something else. Don't name it Harlem Nights. Don't do that.
You're right. Mike Epps definitely need to be in there.
I agree.
You can't do another Harlem Nights without Mike Epps in there.
You should do another Harlem Nights, period.
Y'all don't think Mike Epps, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, Katt Williams, y'all don't think that'd be hilarious?
I think it'll be hilarious, but don't call it Harlem Nights. Harlem Nights is a classic. You got to leave that one alone.
I feel like you can't really touch classics like that, bro. You got to leave.
That's like somebody saying, "Let's do another Friday After Next." Like you got to leave that alone. It's done. You're not.
Now they need another Friday though.
But I'm saying like a remake with new characters. You just got to leave it alone. There's certain movies you just got to leave alone.
You gotta think about like they was talking about, yo, let's do another Rush Hour, and they was gonna use DC Young Fly and like the other funny dude from Wild 'N Out. I'm like, nah, you can't do that, man. Like you gotta leave these classics alone and let them be what they are. You know what I'm saying? Make another movie.
Eddie Murphy messing with his classics though.
Eddie Murphy is messing. He about to do Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He did Coming to America. But how think about it. Did you enjoy Coming to America too?
Nah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they should have left it as what it was.
Yeah, I didn't like Coming to America. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, when you trying to relive the past, you can't do that. You can't we trying to go back and live our childhood all over again. You can't do that, man. You're an older man. Go leave it alone, man. Just let what was be, and then grow and make something else. Like I agree that I think that movie could be great if you take all those comedians with all their minds and you put all their minds together. Do you think they can't make a great comedy? That'd be dope. But don't call it Harlem Nights. I think that's what the biggest problem is. You calling it Harlem Nights, don't call it Harlem Nights.
It could be Harlem Nights Part 2.
Nah, don't do Harlem Nights.
Just leave it alone. Call it something completely different. Don't touch Harlem Nights.
All right, so we all for the Katt Williams right now. We gonna move on though. We gonna move on real quick. We gonna start asking some Q&A questions, and everybody who's watching on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, y'all can chime in on these questions. Y'all can answer these questions too. We're gonna put some Q&A questions up there, and y'all can answer them too. You feel free. We'll put y'all comments on the screen. So we're gonna start off with this question right here. What is the hardest thing you had to endure in your life? Now we're going to get real. The hardest thing you had to endure in your life. I could go first if y'all want me to.
Yeah, you can take this one.
Y'all want me to take it first?
Yeah, you can take it.
I'll go first. Okay, the hardest thing I had to endure in my life probably was two things within a 6-month period. First was probably watching my grandmother die. Was the hardest thing. Not even her dying was harder than watching her die. I think I've never experienced anything like that before. I was there. while it was happening. You know what I'm saying? She was in Ma's house in the back room. They brought her home from the hospital on hospice. They was expecting her to die, but Ma didn't want her to die in the hospital. So she brought her home, and she was just in the back room there. You know what I'm saying? And before she even left the hospital, it's nothing more like crazy than when somebody knows that they're gonna die. Because I was in a hospital visiting her, and the whole family was there from Queens and all that. Everybody was up. And I remember I'm trying to stand off a little bit. Like I'm off to the side. I'm seeing her laying in the bed. Everybody's there. And she calls me over there to her, right? So I walk over there to her. She grabs my hand and whispers in my ear, "I love you." And it broke me. Like I had to turn my head and walk out the room, because it was like, she knows she dying. Like she knows she dying, and she know I'm not going to be here. And to watch her kind of like wither away, that was the hardest thing at that time that I had to endure. I think nothing before that, no childhood, anything, to watch my grandmother, and I've known my grandmother as long as I know my mother. Like when she lived in the house with us when we was kids, she picked me up from school in elementary school, all that. Like she lived in our house in Tubman. She was like, I had my mother, and she was like grandma, like she was like the second mother there. And to lose her within like a 10-month period was like the most devastating thing, you know, that I experienced. So that's one part. The second part, a couple of months after that, Nicola gives birth to Malia. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows Malia who's watching. If you don't know, Malia is me and Nicola's daughter, our first daughter. She was born with special needs. When she first was born, that wasn't the hardest part. She was little, yeah, she was on a ventilator, all that kind of stuff. That wasn't the hardest part that we had to go through. The hardest part was months after that, when we just thought like, okay, you know, she'd be on a ventilator and then she'll be off and will take her home. The hardest part is when one of the nurses in the rehabilitation center just walks up to me and say, "Your daughter will never walk and never talk." Just like that. Didn't warn me, didn't sit me down with social workers or nothing. That's just passing in the hallway. Like I walk by in the hallway, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming to see my Leah. How's she doing today?" "Oh, she's good. You know, she may never walk and may never talk, but she's all right." And that's how I found out that my whole life was going to be totally different. I didn't know that the first couple months. I just thought that she was a premature baby. She was in a hospital and we was going to, you know, she was going to get bigger. We was going to get through this. But then when that lady told me that moment, that's when I knew that, wow, my life really just changed. My life really is never going to be the same again. So those two are the two hardest things I've ever had to endure in my life, was my grandmother dying and me realizing that my daughter was going to be special needs and not walking, not talking for the rest of her life. You know, that right there was two things that devastated me. So those are my two things.
I don't know. I think you shut it down. I don't think we even need to answer those, man.
I agree.
Don't try to switch skin out. Don't try to,
man. Like how do you when you telling stories and you giving perspective of that, when we start thinking about the things that are so rough on us, they don't compare. It's like, I know you're not supposed to shine your light on someone else, but like you think about these scenarios that we got going on, you're like, yo, this was a really rough time for me. And then you hear other people's stories. That's why it's good that you share, because you hear other people's stories, like, yo, that was what I went through wasn't really that bad, man. I couldn't imagine having to live through that. Now I got some stories, but I just don't. Sometimes I think you just gotta allow the moment to be the moment. And I think how you expressed yourself there was there's nothing that me and Caesar could say that it'd be like, oh, that was compared to what you were saying in
But it's not a
emotional
comparing thing.
Anything about
it's personal.
you know what I'm saying? Bringing your vulnerabilities, like, because having to endure something, that you're saying, what's the hardest thing you had to endure?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really have to sit and let that marinate, because we've been through a lot of hard stuff, you know what I'm saying? But the hardest thing that you got to endure, I guess it would, for me, it would probably be my sister passing away, and my brother finding her body, you know what I'm saying, and then seeing her lifeless body being carried out of my house, you know what I'm saying. That to me probably was the hardest. But I had a stepfather got killed. Like, I dealt with death so much that it become numb. So does that mean really enduring through a hardship? I don't know. I learned to accept life for what it is, and then moving on.
It's crazy that you said that about your sister, because that's the connection that all three of us have right there. Because while you were going through that, I was seeing it out my window. I seen the ambulance in front of your crib. You know what I'm saying? So I was looking out of my bedroom window. So it's so crazy that those moments, even the hardest moments, you guys was at the hospital when Malia was born. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, when grandma's funeral and all that kind of stuff. So it's like all of our, this is why we do this podcast. This is why we're here together, is because, yeah, we laugh and joke and everything about, Katt Williams and all of that too. But your hardest part, I remember it because I was there. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with whatever Caesar, whatever Caesar gonna say. It doesn't matter what he says, because whatever he went through, we were there. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't have that, have the blessing, I would say, to have people that you're connected with like that. Like, that's what I was telling people in a show before. We're not just some three people on a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, we, the happiest times, the saddest times, cry together, laugh together, you know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. We all went through that together. You know what I'm saying? We all went through that together. No, I wasn't there when those situations happened, but I was there down the street. You know what I'm saying? I was right there. I remember when that happened. I remember all of that. So, you know what I'm saying? We all kind of, it's nothing that I said today that shout out to Dice 845. He said the loss of a parent. And I'm sure, you know what I'm saying, because we know Gerald Gray, who's Dice 845. We know him personally. He lost his pops not too long ago. You know what I'm saying? And I went to his pop's funeral, and he also was sitting next to me when my aunt told me that your grandmother just died. I was sitting right next to Gerald, who is Dice 845 on Instagram. So there's another connection right there where your friends and the ones that love you and your brothers is not based on who you laugh with. It's really based on who you cry with. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when you know who loves you for real, is the people that show up when you low, not show up when you up. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's like Proverbs 17:17, right? A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Caesar. I mean, and I'm gonna give y'all a pass right now. I'm gonna give y'all a pass because I know y'all. And if y'all need a pass, you know what I'm saying? Be like, you know what? I'm gonna have to pass on it. I'm not gonna put you in a situation like
nah. I share. I ain't gonna go into too much details though, because everybody know me. I'm a pretty private person for the most part. But the hardest thing I had to endure is I block out a lot of things. So forgive me. Some of it's hard to dig back up. But when I was in elementary school, and I got that phone call that my mother's missing, and the police officers came and got me, took me to an empty house. And I just remember laying on that floor. I don't even remember if it was a living room, bedroom, or whatever room it was, but I was just laying there crying, not having an idea of what's going on, what's going to happen in my life. At this time, I'm probably like 5th grade, maybe 4th grade, something like that.
Yeah.
And my whole world was just shooken, flipped upside down, and not knowing who you're gonna live with, not knowing where you're gonna go. I mean, that was traumatizing for me as a kid. And I actually went to a foster home for like a hot second. And I remember it was Corey and Terrence, you know, everybody here on the podcast right now, that they would ask me like, yo, you okay? What's good? Now, you know, I keep everything to myself. So I pretty much hid everything until one day they decided to follow me and saw that I wasn't walking to my normal home. I was walking to a completely different home, and they knocked on the door. And then that's when they kind of like cornered me and pressed me. And then I kind of revealed to them that, you know, the situation happened with my mom, and I'm pretty much in a nursing home. And nursing home, foster home.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then, you know, just being in that foster home, like, you know, like I said, it was brief, but it was just, the whole situation was just very hard to take in, meeting new people that they're going to essentially be, you know, the ones that's taking care of me, you know, a room that I didn't know, a bed that I didn't know, you know, it was hard. That was hard. That's probably one of the hardest things I ever had to endure.
Yeah. And once again, in those situations, we all know that situation because we all was there at that situation. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because to go back to what Terrence said, when Terrence mentioned his sister and then he mentioned his father getting killed. I remember being in school in 5th grade in Mr. Masso class. Me and Terrence was in the same class at the time in 5th grade. And I remember Mr. Masso addressing the class before Terrence came in. And she said, straight up, no chaser, no nothing. She says, Terrence's father was killed last night. And when he comes into class, make sure you're nice to him because he might be having a bad day. She told that to some 5th graders. And it's so crazy because Terrence walks in, sits down, just does his work. That's how numb we was to like where we grew up at. It was like we was numb to the situation. It was like it was painful, but that's something that when you'd have said to somebody else, they would have been like falling all out, screaming, oh my goodness. And we so young, just enduring what we had to endure. We just sat down, did our work. I knew the situation already because we lived on the same block. I knew what happened, but what about them white kids that was sitting in the class that they ain't even from that world? You know what I'm saying? They don't even like, what happened? Like, who got shot? Like, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, like, once again, even with Caesar's situation and my situation and Terrence's situation, we all know those situations because we all was there at that time. You know what I'm saying? At that time. But I got y'all with that question, though.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead, Cece.
That was a tough one, man.
Yeah, I got y'all with that question. But let me tell you something. This is what it's about, because once we establish this platform and this podcast as a place of honesty, no filter, no judgment, no nothing,
vulnerability,
other people's gonna humility. Exactly. We ain't up here fronting. We ain't up here trying to act like we more than what we are. We're being vulnerable with our own self and our own stories. So now somebody else is gonna feel comfortable and say, you know what, my hardest thing I went through was this, or watching the podcast made me want to talk to somebody about the things I went through too. So before we can ask anybody else to be vulnerable, we got to be vulnerable. We got to put it out there. And I'm always push us, you know what I mean, out of that comfort zone. Because I know y'all was trying to slide that question. I was gonna let you slide it too, Terrence, because you look like you was trying to slide.
It wasn't even about sliding. I'm big in living in the moments, and I feel like you expressing yourself at that time. Like last week when Caesar was talking, I was like, man, that's it, man. There ain't nothing more to say. Like, that was the purpose of the question, and you gained the emotion.
Shout out to Shishi.
Yeah, shout out Shishi. What's up? Love you, girl. But yeah, that you captured the moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's like let that moment live and let it be what it is. Yeah, not that I was trying to shy away from it. Like I said, I've been through so many different hardships. I got to figure out which one was the hardest to endure. And it's crazy because you guys, like, you asked the question, and I can think of I could think of particular situations and situations where you both had your hardships, and I'm like, yo, this is definitely Caesar's joint. or this is definitely Corey's when you know, this is his hardest thing that he had to endure. And it could be something completely different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
surprised me too, because I didn't know Caesar was gonna say that what he said.
Yeah.
I knew you was gonna say what you said though. I knew what you was gonna say what you said, because that was rough. But like you said, you had other rough situations too. But it was a couple of them that I could choose from that I knew about. I didn't know.
But it just goes to show you that we know each other enough to be like, yo, I know this about him. For you to say something completely different, like you didn't, like I knew you was gonna talk about grandma. You know what I'm saying? I know we've had this discussion before where we feel like this was one of the hardest things. But Caesar, not Caesar so much. Caesar, you really do keep your stuff to yourself and don't really talk about any of your hardships. Like you're so resilient in that, or you're so, I don't know, calloused where you don't want to talk about nothing. You just shy away from that emotion. But like I seen you guys go through a lot of the things that you went through, and I admire your resilience, man. I applaud you, because God knows where we could have been when you go through those things, and it really takes the hand of God and His Spirit on you to get you through those.
No, I agree. A lot of it, man. I'm probably, if you dig deep enough, I'm sure I'm messed up in the head, but a lot of it is I just suppress it. We
born in the 80s. All 80s kids are messed up. All of them.
So I forget.
I was telling somebody
you know, seatbelts. We grew up in the crack era. All that.
Word. I was telling somebody, like, I don't know if y'all remember this. I found a Jamaican dude's head in my garbage can. The dude chopped his head off. It was a cab driver, and my mom was yelling from upstairs. She was telling me to take the trash out, so I was taking it from the side of the crib and bringing it in front. And this dude head had dreads and everything. It was in the garbage can. They found the rest of his body down in front of Miss Cutchin's house down the street, right? And I'm like, yo, that was crazy to me. Like, to me, and like I didn't even think, I didn't even blink on it. My mom was like, yo, just put the thing on the cover on the garbage can, get upstairs. And I was like, Mom, there's a head in the garbage. She was like, ain't no head in there, boy, get upstairs. Like, it was one of those type joints. And I'm like, all right. Yo, the cops came down, they did all the joint. And I'm just like, yo, I started thinking about it later in life, and I'm like, yo, what kind of kid sees a head and just like, oh, okay, just a head. You know what I'm saying? That it's crazy. I mean, it actually helped me later in life to cope with bigger things, but like still, like no kid should have to see or witness death in that to that magnitude.
Nah. Then Terrence was like, yo, go get the ball. We about to go play ball that same day.
Probably. Well, I probably went upstairs and watched Power Rangers or something. I don't know.
That's not even funny. We ain't supposed to even be laughing at that part. That part crazy. You know,
yeah, but that's how life was back then, man. Like, you see something and just be like, oh, that's people getting killed. People die every day. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on to the second question, because I stunned y'all with that first one, but I did that.
You said the tone, man. It's a little dark.
Dampering the emotion, man.
Yeah, can we lighten it up a little bit?
I did it on purpose. I mean, I you know, I want to bring out certain things in the podcast, and my goal is to make this a safe place. You know what I'm saying?
Respect.
Yeah, it's either.
Oh, my fault. So if you could have a conversation with your younger self, what advice would you give, and what questions would you ask? So who want to take this?
Invest. I would have invested in Bitcoin. I would have invested in Amazon. I would invest in all these big corporations where we ain't have no idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't have nobody to push us and lead us in the direction and let us know what that was. But like, I just think about buying a property back then when the interest rate was crazy low and you could buy a house for under 100,000, and that house now selling for $500,000 or millions. Come on, man. That was an easy no-brainer. That's what I would tell myself. Yo, go buy that house right now. I know you think you can't afford it, but you can. Go do it. Buy the house, hold on to it, and then you'll see your life change.
Okay. I'll add. You want to go, Corey, or you want me to?
Nah, you go, because I'm still thinking.
All right. So I follow that. Definitely invest for sure. But I definitely probably would have told myself to read more and really get into enjoying reading versus like TV and music and being outside all the time. I think reading, you learn so much and you can educate yourself so much. And I feel like I developed a passion for reading, but much later in life. And I wish I would have started that earlier. And a question I probably asked myself is like, what motivated me then and why, and just to kind of see like how I've changed so much from the things that I used to chase to the things I chase now. And chase is probably a poor word, but the things that I seek after, the things that I'm passionate about from then to now have changed so much. So I think it'll be an interesting reflection at that, to have a conversation with my younger self.
Terrence didn't say what question he would ask himself though.
Oh, true. Go ahead.
I don't know. I gotta think about that one. What question I'll ask? I don't know.
The advice I would give myself is to get those raps, man, and write those stories. Let me tell you something. That's exactly what I would tell myself. I go all the way back and write what my little 10-year-old self is, 11-year-old self is writing those raps. I come right behind his head and mush him a little bit, ball them joints up, and say, listen, go back to finish writing them short stories, because that's where it's at for you. It ain't with those raps. You know what I'm saying? Leave them raps alone. You might be good at it. Leave those raps alone. Finish those short stories, because I feel like if I would have started earlier, I'd have been way further along. Now, mind you, I'm great. I thank God for God allowing things to happen with me, with my books. But I imagine I started at like 35. I wrote my first book. Imagine if I'd have wrote my book at 22. I probably would have had like 80 books written by now. You know what I'm saying? Like I probably would have had so many other books so further along than I am right now. I mean, it's better late than never.
Right.
And I don't even believe it's late, because some of the authors I read about, some of them didn't even start writing their first book until they was like 40. But I would tell my younger self, forget the raps. I know it's cool. I know everybody out there doing it. Focus on this, because this is where your bread and butter is at. If I would ask myself a question, I would ask myself, why did I listen so much when the devil tried to tell me that I was nobody? That's what
you getting deep today.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing. Because when I was when I was a kid, that's one of the things in my brain that he always would sit and say to me. Always trying to make me feel like I wasn't worth it, or I wasn't significant enough. I felt like that as a kid a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I listened, and it wasn't until I became grown that I realized that anytime you have like a purpose for your life, that God wants to do something in your life, the devil will start early on trying to destroy you. You know what I'm saying? And I would ask myself that. I would ask my younger self, why did you listen so much? You know what I'm saying? And I guess the answer would be because sometimes I believed it as a kid. When you're a kid, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like you're in your feelings, you sitting by yourself. I'm sure we all went through it, where it's like you feeling certain things and you start to believe stuff, even though it's not true at all. But you start to believe what you hearing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say.
Respect.
Yeah.
All
right, T, what you would ask yourself?
Hands don't know what he gonna ask himself yet.
I guess if I had to think about it, it'd be, why not you? Why can't you have the things that you pray and ask for? Why not you? You can be great. You can strive and do stuff. You don't have to be shy. You don't have to sit around and wait for somebody else to try to go where you're trying to go, and you just kind of go on a coattail. Like, why not you? Why not go out there and be who you know you are? You know what I'm saying? Who God tells you are, who you know you are in God. And I didn't get that for a long time. I kind of was trying to follow the mold of the people who I thought were cool, or who I wanted to be around. And I kind of did my own thing, but I did like let people speak to me and speak into my life, where I felt like I could have wrote. I could have honed that gift in. I talked about last week. I could have really did a lot of stuff. So why not you? Why not push yourself academically when stuff came real easy for you. Like, why not you? Do it.
I like that.
I respect.
I like that.
All right, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna get a little lighter, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want y'all to cry or nothing. But but
no doubt.
Let me see what I got so far here. Oh, I gotta put this one in. Hold up. I didn't even add this one.
Paul, I was gonna say, could you pause that one too? Could you pause mine?
Come on, man. Basically, is I know what it is. It's basically Android or Apple.
Come on, man.
Is Android or Apple is the next Samsung, really. Samsung or Apple for my
well,
Samsung.
No, you can't compete. You can't compare. It's Android or Apple because Android is the
OS. The question that was posed said Samsung.
Samsung is like, that's the hardware. That's a phone. But Android is the operating system on that phone. So
go off the operating system. Use that one.
Okay. So
because that's what most people gonna know anyway. They go, oh, you got an Android.
Well, right. Already, you know? It's already on here. I'm sorry. So
that's fine. So you could do Samsung / Android or Apple.
Yeah. So I'm gonna answer this first because I don't care. I don't care. I don't see why people care at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a big deal at all. We both take pictures. I do feel like Samsungs take better pictures. I think Apple has a good portrait picture thing. At the end of the day, they ring. I ignore them. Whatever.
You sound like an old man. But go ahead, T. I take this one last. It's fine.
You know, I'm big on the Androids. Just as easier operating system for me is what I was used to. You know, all my phones always. I never had an iPhone. I've never ever had an iPhone.
Me either, yo.
I had a iMac, and that to me it was like, yo, I don't even like how the mouse felt. Like they ain't have the 2-button joint. Everything was real. Nah, I'm good. Let me be with my little Android, and y'all can have it. What y'all got the green bubble because I'm in there.
Yeah, can't stand that green bubble.
Yeah. I'm always gonna be the green bubble in your in your group chat.
No doubt.
Yeah. Android, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't guess either because I don't really care really too much. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I ain't no phone person either. Like my phone just died while we were sitting here. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm gonna get an Apple, Android, whatever. I used to have this joint called ZTE. See, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it funky with y'all. I had a phone called a ZTE. It wasn't a Samsung. It was an Android though. I love that phone, man. Word up. Wasn't either one of those phones, and it was cheaper. I ain't care. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all be going through those trends though. What's the newest Apple right now?
What you mean?
What's the newest
15.
Apple phone? The 15, right?
Forward? Yeah.
16 could come out tomorrow. Only thing they changed was the wire.
Come on, man.
And
don't
boom, and you gonna go buy that.
Yeah. Caesar rocking with it. We already know your answer, Caesar. I'm gonna answer for Caesar. Caesar's 100% iPhone, Apple,
100.
everything.
100%. 100%. Look,
why? Trendy, just trendy. That's it.
No, it's not just trendy. You crazy. The ecosystem. I ain't even gonna get too technical, but I'm just saying because y'all talking real reckless right now, trying to play Apple. Apple products is seamless, user friendly. You know what I mean? The ecosystem is ridiculous.
You know my Android just told me I got water in my basement. Hold on 1 second.
Wow, that's crazy.
No doubt.
We gotta take him off the screen now. You know what I'm saying?
Word. Yeah. Disrespectful. He want to walk off on this question.
But you said
Apple all day, man.
Apple all day. You know what I'm saying?
Apple TV.
Somebody
Apple
said it's
Watch.
the ecosystem.
The ecosystem is
whatever that means, though. Like, what does that mean?
It means all your devices seamlessly connect to one another without any effort from you, the user. You bring an Apple device into your house, you take it out the box, it connected to everything that's Apple in your house. Done. No problems, no issues.
I ain't gonna front. I don't have an iPhone because I just don't have an iPhone. I don't care about phones. You know what I'm saying?
But you got a Mac though.
I do got a Mac, and I love my Mac. I have my Mac, my old one I had for about 12, 13 years. And The new one I recently just got, I'm sure I'm gonna have for another 12, 13, 14 years. I love the Mac computer. First of all, I think they wow pretty to me. I think they like the prettiest computers ever.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
They are.
But
and that's what. Hold on, Corey. What's that? Your Mac is what? Apple. Okay.
Yeah, my Mac is of course. The Mac
and you have nothing to complain about.
It's an Apple, you know what I'm saying? Okay. But
so
I don't really care too much.
Crossover to Apple. You crazy. Huh? That's where that crossover to Apple. How can you say you don't care about it too much? You running your podcast off of Apple, you write your books off the Apple, all that.
I do. I do. You know what I like more about it is it's durable. Like my last computer lasts 13 years, like almost,
and it was still running strong, wasn't it?
Yeah, almost all of London's childhood. Basically, I had that computer. So
and it gave you no problems. Apple.
No, it didn't give me no problems. You know what I'm saying? Crossover. But it's far as computers, I think Apple is the GOATs. I love Apples. I like the way they look. I think their durability. Phones, some things Samsung could do. Some things I think iPhones is too small for me, period, though. I think they little phones.
They got bigger phones. They got the pros.
Samsung got the nice screen on it, taking pictures.
They whack.
iPhone takes good pictures too.
Garbage, though. I think they are garbage.
Nah, that's a lie.
You know what's crazy? This is a whole other subject, though. I was thinking about Terrence, right? Our whole life we've been calling Terrence, right? But Terrence's name is Terrence. You got to put some zest on it, I think, when you say it.
Have we been saying it wrong this whole time? I don't even think he can hear you.
What'd you say?
He said you gotta put a zest on your name. We've been saying your name wrong this whole time.
Put a zest on my name.
Yeah, because your name is Terrence. We call you Terrence, right? But your name is Terrence.
My name is Terrence.
Yeah. So like I told Caesar, you got to put a little zest on it.
Nah, don't put no zest. Nah, don't put no zest on my name, bro.
Say it right. We've been saying it wrong.
We've been
saying it like hood kids. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
just call me Mike. Call me Michael, man. We going back to that. Yeah, we going back to Mike.
All right, listen. Okay. All right, so we gonna move along though. We gonna move along.
You call me Daddy.
Now, I think Android won.
Pause that.
She said not the zest. You gotta put a little zest on it, like Terrence. That's how you gotta say. What's up, Terrence?
Nah, don't do that.
Yo, son, that's crazy. All right, so we're gonna move on though, because recently Cameron and Floyd Mayweather made some comments about being called African Americans. So we're gonna play the video and we're gonna see what people think. We're gonna play all the videos, right? And then we're gonna talk about it at the end. All right.
Be known as a Black American. I can't call myself an African American, because when they want to separate us, then they say we are African American. But remember this: when I'm competing in the Olympics, I didn't compete on the African American Olympic team. I competed on the American Olympic team. So don't separate me when you want to separate me.
All right, that's what Floyd said.
But y'all don't consider us real Africans. Yep.
Let me start from right here.
As an American, it doesn't matter what color you are. You're an American fighting against somebody from Cameroon or Senegal, whatever. The point being is they don't categorize it when it's world competition, but when it's other shit, it needs to be categorized. So I consider myself a Black American. I don't consider myself African American. And shout out to all my niggas in Africa. Much love. But y'all don't consider us real Africans. Yep.
I don't want to be called an African American. I'm an American. You know what I'm saying? You can call me a Black American, but I'm an American. When I competed in the Olympics, they didn't say fighting an African American. They said that American that's fighting out of the red corner or out the blue corner.
Okay, so how y'all feel about that, about those comments? Like, he feels that they both feel like we shouldn't be called African Americans. We should be called Americans or Black Americans. But being at Africa, we're not from Africa. Technically, we're not born there. We were born here. We shouldn't be called African Americans. We should be called Americans or Black Americans. What y'all feel about that?
I agree. I mean, we was born in America. I mean, by definition, doesn't that just make us American? I don't even want to be considered Black America. I'm just American. I don't think no one says somebody's a white American or anything like that.
Nah, they're right. When I go across seas, you know what I'm saying? I'm in different countries. I'm in London. I'm in Africa. They ain't saying, yo, that's you African American. Nah, you American, bro. Like I go to Europe, you're American. Like it is what it is. They ain't looking at my skin and saying I'm a Black American. I'm not looking at a Black European like, yo, you're a Black European. Like you're a Black British dude. Like, nah, that's not how that works. Why does it work like that here? I think, and I also think it's kind of insulting to somebody who is like if you like first, second generation African, you could say you African American. I got a couple of African friends who's from like Ghana or from like Nigeria. Like you want to call yourself African American like that, where your grandparents or like your dad, your parents are from Africa, then yeah, by all means you're African American. But like me, my grandparents from the South, man. Like I can go back to my lineage and find out, hundreds of years, probably 150 years of when my ancestors are from here. So I mean, I did do the 23andMe and find out I do got, Nigerian and all that in me. But like, if that's the case, all of us is from Africa because that's where the first two people were, right? And so if we're going back off of that, we all African American, we all African something,
But to add to what you're saying, I don't think any other country does that though, right? Like you said, when you go to Europe, right, they don't be like, oh, he's a Black European. He's European. Right? Nah. Why does America have to categorize like that when no other country is doing that?
I look at it two different ways. You can have you have two different mindsets with this. You could have a mindset where I want to be treated equal with how America treats people. I want them to accept me like as if I'm an American. I want to be included, right? And then you got other people who have the mindset where I don't care about being included with y'all. Call me African American. I don't want to be. You don't have to call me American. Call me African American. I'm fine. Because like it's almost like the people that some people stand for the national anthem, and other people, don't really care about that too much. They try to make it seem like it's about the troops. Terrence is a troop. But it's really not about that. Sometimes if you realize that the national anthem, the lyrics to the song is wild racist. You know what I'm saying? Why would we want to stand for that when it really, at the time when it was written, we were property. They wasn't even talking about us in that song. But when we don't stand for it today, it's they're not patriotic. Some people don't care about being patriotic. Some people don't care about it. They just feel like, listen, I don't feel like I'm of any worth in this country. They don't treat me like I'm of any worth. So I'm not trying to be included with stuff. So you don't got to call me American. I take pride in the African part of my American, because even though I'm not from there, I know I'm only over here because somebody from my bloodline was brought here from Africa. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on how you look at it. You could look at it that way, or you could look at it the other way. Me personally, I don't really care about. I don't really care about being included with stuff when it comes to America. It's not that I'm not patriotic, but I think Black people as a whole care too much about being accepted by white America. I think we do. We don't have the same enthusiasm with the BET Awards that we have with the Grammys. You know what I'm saying? We don't have the same enthusiasm with the NAACP Awards than we have with the Golden Globes and stuff like that. It's like if I told you I won a Grammy, if I told you I won a BET Award, you're like, oh snap, Corey won a BET Award. If I told you I won a Grammy though, you're gonna want to see it when you come to the house. Because for some reason that's more prestigious. Why? Because I'm accepted by the majority, which is white America. I'm accepted by them. So it almost it's the same way they do with HBCUs in Harvard University. Your kid go to the HBCU, that's great. But if your kid get into Harvard, oh, they smart. He in Harvard, he in Yale. Why we put so much emphasis and so much credibility into institutions that's majority somebody a different race, but we don't put that same enthusiasm into Howard University or Spelman and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? If your kid had to choose between Spelman and Harvard, it's almost a no-brainer to some black people. They'd be like, yo, you going to Harvard. That's where all of the big lawyers and the judges and everybody, that's where the smart kids is at. Mind you, it might be like 90% white and Asian probably, and a sprinkle of us in there. You rather them go there than to go to a Spelman or a Howard, and where majority of us is down there, because that school is held so higher than the black school. So I guess it just depends on how you look at it. You could look at it like, I want to be included. I want America to call me Americans like they call the white Americans. Or you could say, I don't even care. Keep my African on there because I'm African. You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
Do you think it's an inclusion though? Or it's just if we're born in America, we're just American. Like,
that's the same thing though. You said other countries don't do it, but they do it in America, which means that we want to be treated how other countries treat their citizens, which means you kind of want to be included. You want them to include you.
No, but if you're included, you would just be American. You wouldn't be African American. You wouldn't be Black American. Even
African American though.
You're not.
We're from African descent. We're not from European descent. Caesar might be European. He might. No, he's right. You might have a little European in you. I think if you take it all the way back, you probably it's gonna get white. It's gonna get white over there.
It's possible, but my thing is, I mean, how far back you gotta go before you even see African blood or European blood or whatever? I'm born in America. You know what I'm saying? Tons of generations before me is American. So why am I called anything else other than American?
When you have immigrant parents and they come to this country, they're leaving their country a lot of the time to come for a better life, right? They want you are American. They pride themselves in when they get their citizenship, I'm American, right? Like, why is it such a bad thing just to be called American? Like, why do I have to have something in front of that?
But I don't.
Why
think
do I have to have something in front of that?
I don't think it's bad.
When I wear my uniform, it says United States of America. Like, it don't go, yo, this is the African United States of America. Like, it ain't nothing like that. Like, I am just who I am. Like that.
When you had to fill out paperwork for the military, did you have to put your race down?
Yes.
See what I mean?
Right.
But you have to put your race down for anything.
It says black. It don't say African. It say black.
It says Black African American.
Oh yeah. See there. You've been out the military too long.
I have. I've been out. Yeah.
I knew that. I ain't even go to the military and I knew that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's necessarily being an inclusion. I just think it is what it is. If we're
actually, I don't know. I gotta look that up. I don't know, Steve. You might be right. It might say Black non-Hispanic and then Black Hispanic.
I think it says Black non-Hispanic because it don't. For me, I never filled out anything that said African. It either say Black non-Hispanic.
Or Hispanic. I think you're right. I think it might no African.
I guess it depends on. It depends on if you care. My mindset is, I'm really big on us building our own things and having our own identities. I don't really care.
But you got to think about those people. Like, there's Africans who went to Cuba. There's Africans who went to Dominican Republic. There's Africans who went to Trinidad, Jamaica.
Yeah, they all African,
right? But you ask them what they are, they're gonna say, "I'm Jamaican, I'm Trinidadian, I'm
right."
They're
not gonna say I'm African.
That's because they don't believe. Let me tell you why.
They say I'm Afro-Latino now.
They don't believe.
A lot of them say that
black,
now.
Though.
Nah, they do. They do.
No, they don't.
They do. If you ask a lot of Dominicans right now, so older generations.
You call older generations a black person if you want to. They do not believe that.
Older generations, they didn't believe that. Nah, Poppy, I ain't black. These people our age and younger, they tell you I'm black, bro. I'm black. I'm a nigga. I'm just like you. That's why I could say nigga.
Yeah, it's that's like now. But let me tell you something.
Yeah, but they saying black Dominican. They're not saying African Dominican. You see what I'm saying?
Like, no, they say I'm Afro-Latino. I'm Afro-Latino. Like if you talk,
I don't think that's a lot of them though.
Yeah, it's a big thing now, bro. I'm telling you, especially with that singer Celia Cruz, I think her name was. She was big on like she looks black. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, I'm a Afro Latina, and it was big. It was shied away from because black was always looked at as ugly, less than. So nobody wanted to look at. I'm not black. I'm a Dominican. Nigga, you black, bro. You look just like me.
Even going front. I'm gonna say this, and I don't want to offend no Dominicans and no Hispanics that's listening though. But when it comes to like racial things towards me, definitely was from more Spanish people than it was white people.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. That you were exposed to more Spanish than white people.
Could have been, but I've been around some white people too.
But they're very racist. Spanish people are very racist.
Say more racist things to you than white people do.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah,
they do. And I work with a lot of them. Just in different, in different kitchens and different stuff like that.
But their culture is no different than our culture. No, there's a lot of black racists out there, bro.
One girl told me, one Dominican.
Even though they say black people can't be racist.
because racism is based off of you having the power to suppress somebody. We don't. That racism is not just I don't like this white person. Is I don't like you and I got the power to that you can't get this job, you can't get this house. That's racism. Racism is not prejudice. Is I don't like you. Racism is I can control where you live. I can control your life based on your race. That's racism. That's why black people can't be racist because we don't have the power to control somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? But I said at the same, it was this Dominican girl that I used to work with, and she told me she was dark Dominican too, because some Dominicans is dark. She told me her father said to marry a light-skinned person to better the race.
That's what Michelle's family said that too.
That's crazy. You ain't have to say no names. You wildin'. But yeah, you uncomfortable. He think we talking on the phone or something. We lie. What did you?
Nah. That's not something we hide. Like that's
always what I'm trying to say. That's you. They just told you that, and you definitely ain't the lightest person in the world.
Nah,
and on podcast right now.
Nah, yeah, no, that was it. And she's not Dominican, by the way. She's Puerto Rican, but we alright.
You know what I mean? See, that's a whole different, another Hispanic person, and it's still racist.
Yeah,
it's still
crazy.
Racist. Yeah, for real. That's what they said. She said, "Marry light to better the race." Dark black people, we looked at it as bad. We look, they look at it. They tell us, "Yo, come over here, marry somebody light."
Do you feel like that's changing now?
No, I think it's the same. You want to a Spanish person right now? They used to call me when I used to work at the hotel. My first couple of months working there, Obama. That's what they used to say. yo, you know how racist that is? Listen, Obama was the president. Don't get me wrong. And there's nothing wrong with being called Obama. But when you know they calling you Obama, were they really just saying, "What's up, nigga?" That's basically what they saying. Obama. That means they see your skin color. They don't see you at all. They just see this dude is black. Obama's the president. We're going to call him Obama. That's racist. You don't see a white person be like Bill Clinton. You don't say that.
That's true. Where because you don't look nothing like Obama. You don't sound like Obama. So there was no reason.
I was the only black dude at the job at the time. And that's what they used to call me for years, Obama. It's like saying, yo, that's the nigga over there. You know what I'm saying? For real. It's crazy. All right, well, we're going to move on, though, because we already finished that one. I guess right now, we could get into reading some. Now, this is what I call, this is called deleted tweets, right? This is tweets that people didn't really think all the way through when they had a thought in their mind. And they just type some quick tweet, press send, and then realize maybe I shouldn't have said that and deleted it. But by the time they deleted it, somebody like me or somebody else screenshot it, and now it's here forever. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to read a couple of deleted tweets. I think I might only have like 3 of them. Well, let's see what this one say right here. Thinking about writing a book. Now listen, if you don't know why this is crazy, then you shouldn't write a book either. You should leave writing books alone. Maybe you should do audio books or something.
But that's why we got editors.
Grammarly.
Yeah, Grammarly, or just, you know what I mean?
Shout out.
thinking about writing a book. You know, that was one tweet right there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to that person because, you know, like you said, we do got Grammarly, but you got to be careful out here because that just makes somebody want to. That just makes somebody want to listen to your audiobook instead.
Now, granted, does it count though? Look at the flag. English is not their first language.
Nah, then maybe they should have typed that in their language. Then we're gonna move it on. We're gonna move on. I think I suffer from mental Illinois. Now, listen, for them, I think that was more of an autocorrect, and they probably had an iPhone because iPhone autocorrect, right?
So does Android. I'm trying to play iPhone.
Yeah, I think I suffer from mental Illinois. They posted that. Somebody was like, yo, what is she talking about? She's like, oh, snap. And I deleted it. She deleted it. You know what I'm saying? But I think that was probably an Apple situation where they had an iPhone and iPhone just auto-corrected them when they didn't feel like being.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
I think that happened.
Both of y'all
think, let me see what this one says. This is crazy right here.
I be skipping over y'all's missing cousins when y'all post them. Just like y'all do my music.
My man said, I be skipping over y'all's missing cousins when y'all post them, just like y'all do my music. He posted it. He thought about it. Let me talk to him real quick because I understand what he feels. Listen,
who's that? Rubber Band Grant?
Listen, I know
that's probably why they listen to your music. They Rubber Band Grant, B.
Listen, I know what it feels like to post your music thinking you put out some fire and everybody just act like that joint ain't sitting up on your page. You don't got no likes. You ain't got no views on it. You get a little frustrated. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then somebody posting, yo, my cousin missing. If y'all seen him, you just skip over that because nobody pressed play on your music,
that's terrible.
On your YouTube video. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's real crazy. But listen, I know what he feel like, but don't skip past the Amber Alerts. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't skip the Amber Alerts. If somebody got a missing cousin out there, you got to make sure you out there and you telling people. But that's crazy. I think that might be the last one. One girl said, and I don't got it up here. One girl says, "What's the mouse from that movie Stuart Little?"
Oh yeah, crazy. I saw that one.
Crazy, you know what I'm saying? But you know what's crazy? Besides this deleted tweet stuff, I did have a tweet. Somebody tweeted this. It could be a Facebook post too, but I'm gonna post it up on there. And I'm gonna tell you, I want to know if y'all agree with this. You know, it's just something I seen randomly. I wanted to bring to y'all. It says it does not take 5 to 6 years to determine if that's the woman you want to marry.
Oh, we going into that?
Yeah. What's up? Where you at? Is this true statement or is this a false statement? Matter of fact, I'm gonna give my input before y'all even say anything. I think I've been out the game for a long time. But I think a man knows if he wants to marry a woman about 6 to 8 months. First 6.
I agree 1,000% with that.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't. If a man takes 5 to 6 years,
he don't want to get married to her.
Yeah, he's still probably weighing his options. This is some relationship advice from 3 dudes that's married. I got 18 years in. Terrence, how many years you got in?
11.
Terrence, you serious right now? How many years you got in?
He said 11. He said 11.
Oh, I ain't even hear you. I thought you 11. Caesar, how many years you got in?
6 years strong, baby.
6 years strong. I probably have the seniority here because me and Nicole have been together for really 25 years, right?
I've been together for 21, just so you know.
Okay, you up there. You up there.
Yeah, but it took me 10 years. It took me 10 years to get married.
but you got to put everything in context, though. You was in college, right?
Yeah.
It's also a lot of things. But if you ain't in college, right, and y'all just living your life, I know I'm getting a lot of dudes in trouble probably right now with this comment. But if y'all 5 and 6 years in and he ain't asked you to marry him, he kind of comfortable the way things are, and he probably don't see. And really, this is not just based off. Now it does say woman, so yeah. So I guess he probably don't want to marry you. A man don't have to take 5 to 6 years. A man is not that complicated. Men see something that they want, they look for those red flags. They don't really see them. Okay, cool. You know, I like her personality, you know, because a lot nowadays. I'm glad I posted this because nowadays a lot of women, not all women, but a lot of women think that it's really physical. Your physical will attract the man. Your inner beauty will keep the man. You know what I'm saying? Men ain't just marrying your body. That's not gonna happen. They might mess around with you like that, but the man is gonna marry that woman with the morals, with the integrity, with the dignity, with the motherly instincts, all of those kind of things. And he'll see those things. He might not see the motherly instinct, but he can kind of see your personality in about 6 to 8 months. And he'd be like, yo, I think this is somebody I can spend the rest of my life with. 5 to 6 years, it's some red flags that's keeping him from acting.
Yeah.
Red flags are keeping him from acting.
You're not wrong.
Or he got real comfortable, right? It might not even necessarily be the red flags. He just got real comfortable.
I guess so. All right, so that's what we got right now. So what we gonna do? Are we gonna end this with the story time or how we doing it? Right now we at 1 minute and 52 right now.
Yeah, well, 9:58. So
what we doing? How we gonna do this? How we want to do this?
I don't got no story. You go ahead. You got the story?
I got a story. I got a story. Why? What? Look. See, the nervous. Why you nervous with me? See, I ain't gonna say nothing crazy.
I'm comfortable.
I ain't gonna say
we don't know what you're gonna be bringing out here.
All right. Look, y'all know the story already. We talked about the story. All right, so it's like 1993. You know what I'm saying? Let me put myself on the screen. It's like 1993. You know, I think The Chronic might have been out for about 8 months. You know what I'm saying? Chronic was out. It's warm outside. It's July 4th, right? There's kids outside, kids riding their bikes. You know what I'm saying? We out there, you hear kids all over the place being loud, cussing, all that kind of stuff, right? This is Poughkeepsie. This is Cherry Street, Cherry and Main, right on the corner. This is where we at. Caesar's out there. Terrence is out there. I'm out there. I'm sure there might be some people that used to live around this time that was out there too, but this is Cherry Street. This is 1993, July 4th night, right? She's out there with a dog, Mafia, little baby pit bull. You know what I'm saying? We're standing on the corner of Cherry and Main Street. True story. Everything I'm saying is true. Standing on the corner of Cherry and Main. Somebody must have put an M80 in the telephone booth. Blew it up. You can see the quarters through the cracks, but you can't get your hand in there to get it. You know what I'm saying? But you can see it out there. So me and Terrence is over there. Caesar's there too. We looking inside the telephone booth. We see the quarters. They like, yo, Corey, run back to the crib. Go get one of your father's tools. I don't know if it was a hammer or whatever, or a crowbar, whatever. Come back so we could break open the telephone booth and get the quarters. So I run back to the crib, run up in the attic. I grab one of my father's crowbars or something, hammers or whatever. I run back downstairs to the block. We on Cherry and Main. Now, mind you, this is July 4th. It's mad people out there. It's a holiday. We on it. We at the corner of Cherry and Main. I bring the tool back. I'm banging on the telephone booth trying to get the quarters out. I'm bending the hammer, the crowbar, whatever in there, trying to bend it open to get the quarters out. We can't get it out. We banging on it. Starts getting dark now, right? We still out there. Starts getting dark. I can't get it. So I look at Terrence. Caesar got the dog at the time, so he wasn't trying to do it, but he was with us. I say, yo, Terrence, I can't get this. So I hand him the crowbar, right? Terrence goes over there to the and the people who knows this area, Cherry and Main, right down the street from Kennedy's, right on the corner. I think it's right across the street from the fire department, over there where that corner store that's abandoned now, Cherry and Main. Terrence starts banging on the telephone booth, the thing trying to break it open. Right when I hand him the crowbar, I see the cop right at the light. All you hear is whoop, whoop, whoop. The cop hits the corner, turns the corner. Everybody on the block start running. Caesar running with the dog. I'm running. Terrence, he was running, but I think he started running too late. By the time he starts running, the cop pulls the car in front of him, hops out, grabs Terrence by his hair, throws him in the cop car, right? Mind you, we still running. Me and Caesar, we still running, right? We noticed that they got Terrence, so Caesar's like, yo, they got Terrence. Let's go back. So we run back to the car. It's a lot of kids out there. We all surrounding the cop car. Cop telling us to move back. Terrence in the cop car. I ain't even gonna front. It looked like the first 48 to me. It looked like my man was going through it. I'm not gonna say everything he was saying, but he was going through it. One of the things I did hear was like, yo, go get my moms. I did hear him say that. Go get my moms, right? He was a little distraught, right? So we like, yo, we gonna go get your mom. So we ran back to the house, knock on the door, boom, 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 boom. Didi, they got Terrence downstairs in the cop cars. You know, Didi, they got what? They got Terrence. She run downstairs. By this time, when Didi gets to the car, me and Caesar kind of slid off. We slid off, started walking back to the house. I started walking back to the house for one reason alone, because I was kind of involved, right? And my parents was a little different than Terrence and Caesar's moms and all of them. I couldn't have this on me, right? I had to slide out of there, right? So I go back. Me and Caesar, we left. We sitting in my backyard, right? We can still hear the sirens going over at the corner. We still hear the kids loud out there, the commotion. But we kind of in the backyard with the door, with the yard door closed. We sitting on the back steps, you know, breathing heavy a little bit, like, yo, son, like, yo, they got Terrence, B. Like, yo, what we gonna do? Caesar got the dog with him. Like, yo, that's crazy. And I looked at Caesar. I'm like, yo, son, yo, you think he gonna tell on us? Caesar was like, I don't know, son. Like, he in there, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got him. You know, and I ain't gonna front. If you ever watch the first 48, and you know when the guy put his head down, you already know he about to start telling. You know what I'm saying? And according to Terrence's face, when I seen Terrence's face,
that's crazy.
I didn't know, man. And I didn't really know what was going to happen. I started playing a lot of scenarios in my mind because I knew that if he tell and my moms and my pops find out I was trying to break in on July 4th, the hottest day of the year, into a phone booth on a corner of Cherry and Main Street to get some quarters, man, I was a dead man, 100%, right? So me and Caesar sitting back there, right? It's getting dark. So we noticed that it's getting a little quiet now. You know, we don't really hear too much going on. So we still sitting in there. I'm scared, though. Caesar ain't really scared because he ain't do nothing. But I'm scared because I'm like, yo, son, Terrence gonna tell on us, right? So we sitting there, maybe about a half an hour pass. We hear the fence open up. Terrence slide through the fence. We like, oh, son. Yo, son, you out. Yo, son, ain't a wreck. That's crazy. You free. You know what I'm saying? Terrence was like, yeah. We was like, yo, son, we ain't even gonna front. We thought you was about to tell on us, son. And Terrence was real cool with it. Terrence was like, man, I never tell on y'all. And it was then that we knew that bond was real. You know what I'm saying? It was then that we knew that, yo, this is it. This is us. We have an unbreakable bond. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna front. If Terrence would have told on me, that bottom picture of the podcast would have been a whole nother dude down there. You know what I'm saying? A whole nother dude at the bottom of the podcast, because that's my word. I probably would have been getting off a punishment next week. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how bad it was. But that's the story. That's the July 4th story. You know what I'm saying? And next week we might have a whole different other story. But this is the end of the podcast night. We had a good night. We had a lot of communication. Shout out to everybody who checked in on Facebook, who checked in on Instagram, who checked in on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? This episode gonna be uploaded to YouTube probably sometime tomorrow. But y'all want to say something before we out?
No, I just want to say, you know, it was like last time. It was a great time. Thank you for all the participation from everybody on all the socials. And, you know, just keep tuning in. You know, plus, you know, also feel free to give us feedback too. You know what I mean? We receive that and accept it.
Shout out to my family, Sonya.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
You want to say?
Yeah, thank you for all the viewers. You know, I see we got a bunch of new people in there today. Just continue to like, subscribe, share. You know, we are on all social media platforms. Just make sure that we try to get this out there. And, you know, I would like to defend myself on that story, but I ain't even gonna do it. The story was good. It was a good story.
No, go ahead. We got a couple minutes. Go ahead. We only a little old. Go ahead.
What? So first off, the cop pulled his pistol out. So that's why we
slid off by that. We slid off.
Yeah. Nah, he pulled his pistol out. He said, freeze or I'm going to shoot. That's why I stopped. And I had the joint in my hand. And he didn't know what it was. So they take me, I had braids, and they take me by my braids and throw me in the back of the cop car.
Yeah.
And that's how that whole thing. So now I'm frantic because I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was going to jail. You know what I'm saying?
About telling though?
Nah, that didn't even cross my mind. My thing was, my mom's is gonna whip my butt, bro. Like,
you know, I'm glad you said that, and I wish your mom's was watching right now, because one of the main things I thought about when you slid through that fence is how you back outside after almost getting arrested.
So what happened was, because of how the cops was treating me, my mom was so mad at the cop that whatever I did didn't even matter at that point. It was like, you had that black mother, and it wasn't just her. It was Miss Ernestine, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying, to Miss Ernestine. She Ernestine Boone. She came out there. She was like, nah, let that boy out of there. You can't treat him. I think because we was young. I had to been 12, 13 years old, maybe. Like, and for him to, because they weren't the only person that saw him pull a gun out. So it was one of those type joints where it was like two white cops, little black boy, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I was in the wrong, man. We shouldn't have been out there breaking in that thing. But
it's crazy, man.
You know,
but we was trying to get those quarters, though.
Can you imagine
if we was able to get all of those quarters?
Remember the stuff we was talking about? We was gonna get. We gonna go to the discount. We gonna get mad snacks.
Not only that, though. Let me tell you why. Because my birthday was that next week. If you would have told, my birthday would have been different. My birthday would have been real different. You know what I'm saying?
Still to this day, man. I'll never tell. You crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Terrence ain't telling. You know what I'm saying? He a civilian now. You a civilian now. They say civilians could tell. They ain't called snitching no more.
Nah, I ain't no civilian. I'm still in the streets.
Are you still on the streets? You still thugging it?
Yeah, I'm still in these streets, Hart. Yeah. Nah.
All right, yo, but see that you good? You don't want to say nothing? You out?
Yeah. Much love.
All right, man. We out, man. Craig Kids forever. You know what I'm saying?
Craig
we
Kids
out.
forever.
Peace.